Hello and welcome to the Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why and how of newspaper reading. Today, we are going to discuss various important issues appearing in the Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper dated 16 July 2019. The news to be covered are given on your screen and corresponding timestamps can be found in description as well as comment section below. Now, let's begin with our today's discussion. Now, as you might be aware of, we are currently discussing various questions which appeared in the prelims paper of 2019 and how that particular topic was covered in the Daily News Simplified. Here we have a question which appeared in the prelims examination this year and reads, what is Cas9 protein that is often mentioned in the news? Well, this topic has been covered in the DNS dated 10th February 2019 as well as 24 January 2019. As here you can see, it's clearly mentioned about how it is related to gene editing as well as how it is a pair of molecular scissors. In the DNS dated 24 Jan 2019 also, it has been connected with genetic editing. Now let's have a look at various options. Option A says it is molecular scissors used in targeted gene editing. Option B says it is a biosensor used in accurate detection of pathogen in patients. Option C says it is a gene that makes plants pest resistant. Option D says it is a herbicidal substance synthesized in genetically modified crops. So going by the discussion given in the DNS dated 10th February 2019 as well as 24th January 2019, one can easily mark A as the answer, which says it is a molecular scissors used in targeted gene editing. With this, let's move to the first news item. So here we have a news item which appears on page number 11 and reads, a WASH for healthcare. Well, here WASH stands for Water, Sanitation and Hygiene. The topic is very important for our General Studies paper 2 under issues relating to development and management of social sector services relating to health. Now firstly, let's try to have a comprehensive look at this concept and then we'll move to other related dimensions. As we've already discussed, it stands for Water, Sanitation and Hygiene. Moreover, universal, affordable and sustainable access to this WASH is a key public health issue. As you all must be aware of various sustainable development goals we have, this WASH basically focuses on sustainable development goal number 6, which relates to clean water and sanitation. Moreover, it is also indirectly associated with SDG number 3, that is good health and well-being. Well, access to WASH includes safe water, adequate sanitation as well as hygiene education. Moreover, if attention is given to this WASH, it can further lead to improvement in health, life expectancy, learning abilities and at the same time reduce poverty. This shows that how important as well as multidimensional is this WASH scheme, and now we'll have a look at other dimensions which have been put forward by the author in the article. Well, in the article, the author has highlighted how important are adequate WASH amenities for healthcare facilities, be it primary, secondary or tertiary health. Well, the author says safe functioning of these healthcare facilities at primary, secondary and tertiary level can only be ensured with adequate WASH amenities. And in case these amenities are not present at these healthcare facilities, it will lead to infections impacting the health of doctors, various health workers as well as patients. And in a way, it would adversely impact child as well as maternal health. Here one more thing which can be important for your preliminary examination is such hospital acquired infections are known as nosocomial infections. Moreover, such infections also lead to increased use of antibiotics which further pave way for antibiotic resistance among people. Hence, improving WASH services are very important in order to enhance various healthcare facilities. Well, in this regard, the decision-making body of World Health Organization, which is known as World Health Assembly, also adopted a resolution recently in order to ensure that all health facilities by the year 2030 have this WASH services. It talks about a phased plan in which by the year 2022, 60% of the health facilities will have WASH services. By the year 2025, 80% of the healthcare facilities will have such services. And by the year 2030, 100% of the healthcare facilities will have access to this WASH services. For this, domestic as well as external investments are required. It was recently a joint report released by World Health Organization, and UNICEF pointed towards various practical steps which should be adopted in order to ensure that all healthcare facilities have access to these WASH services. Well, this joint report by WHO as well as UNICEF recommended various practical steps which are broadly based on two themes. First one is assessments and accountability. The second one includes capacity building. Well, where on one hand, this assessment and accountability is mainly revolving around collection of data on various WASH indicators which would link policies and outcomes. Now, this is a very practical step under which even rewards can be introduced for the healthcare facilities who are doing good in this regards. The other dimension is capacity building. Well, this dimension relates to various health workers working in such facilities. These include doctors, midwives, nurses, and even cleaners. Well, what is needed is a culture of cleanliness. At the same time, information campaigns are must. Moreover, a module on WASH services as well as infection prevention and control can be introduced in pre-services training of these health workers. Well, if these steps are followed in letter and spirit, they can surely lead to this 100% health facilities with WASH services by the year 2030. Well, now talking of Indian context, where WASH is being implemented by constructing new toilets, chlorination of water at various places in order to make it fit for drinking, as well as promoting hand washing, the main problem in India is of open defecation. And Government of India takes this very seriously. Hence, in order to make India open defecation free, it launched Swachh Bharat Mission in the year 2014 with the main aim of making India open defecation free by the year 2019. Firstly, let's have a look at various adverse impacts this open defecation has on the health as well as society. The most important thing is there is an issue related to women's safety. As they venture outside for open defecation, it can be a threat to their security. The next dimension relates to the child health. Moreover, deaths due to diarrhea also occur because of this open defecation. Well, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has also been appreciated by various international agencies including WHO for providing 74 million households in India with toilet between 2014 to 2018. Moreover, the sanitation coverage between 2014 to 18 has increased from 38% to 94% in rural households. Moreover, between this time span, the open defecation free villages have also increased from 47,000 which was in 2014 to 3.8 lakh in 2018. Well, they account for about 65% of villages in India. However, in order to achieve open defecation free India, it is not just about providing toilets to every household, but it is a far more complex issue. Well, it has to include an element of changing people's behavior, as there is an ingrained belief in their value system which prevent them from defecation in a toilet which is built in their home. Hence, in order to change this behavior and make sure that this changed behavior sustain over time, there is a need of a mass media campaign which can involve various influential personalities as well as youth of the country has to be involved in such mass media campaigns. It is only by this changing of behavior and sustaining it, the target of open defecation free India can be achieved. Well, this question appeared in 2017 mains examination in General Studies paper 2. Well, it reads, to ensure effective implementation of policies addressing water, sanitation and hygiene needs the identification of beneficiary segments is to be synchronized with anticipated outcomes. Examine the statement in the context of WASH scheme. So now based on the discussion we had today on WASH scheme, you can practice this question. On this note, let's move to the next topic. Well, here we have a news item which reads 12 Indian beaches in the race to crest the Blue Flag Challenge. Well, this news item talks about Blue Flag certification which is given to various beaches which meet certain criteria related to cleanliness as well as other environmental dimensions. Well, this topic is important for preliminary examination under sustainable development and environmental ecology. Moreover, under General Studies paper 3 of mains examination, it is important under environment and conservation. Now, let us understand various dimensions associated with this Blue Flag certification. Well, this certification was created in the year 1985 by Foundation for Environmental Education, which is a non-profit, non-governmental organization. It is this Foundation for Environmental Education which is based at Copenhagen in Denmark. Well, there are about 33 criteria which have to be met in order to qualify for this blue flag certification. They can broadly be categorized under environmental education and information, water quality, environmental management, and safety and services. Well, under environmental education and information, there has to be an information about coastal zone ecosystem and natural sensitive areas in the coastal zone must be displayed. Similarly, a code of conduct for the beach area has to be provided on the particular beach. At the same time, it has to meet certain water quality level. Moreover, the health of coral reefs as well as other such ecosystem has to be monitored closely. Under environmental management, it has to be made sure that the beach is plastic free as well as proper sanitary facilities including toilets are present. Well, safety and services include access to proper first aid, lifeguards as well as safe drinking water. It is only when the beach meet various criteria under these headings it is allowed to hoist this blue flag. Now talking of the Indian context, it is this Society of Integrated Coastal Management which is under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change which has started a program for blue flag certification of various beaches across India. The SICOM has also conceived a scheme which is called BEAMS. This BEAMS stand for Beach Management Services. Well, this BEAMS will mainly focus on reducing the pollution and promoting sustainable development across various beaches in country. And in this way, it would help various beaches to get this blue flag certification. Well, one more thing which can be important for preliminary examination is Chandrabhaga Beach in Odisha, which is on Konark coast, is the first beach in Asia to get this blue flag certification. So now we have seen this blue flag certification is related to beaches and is provided by FEE, that is Foundation for Environmental Education. Moreover, in India, this Society for Integrated Coastal Management is mainly working towards various beaches getting this blue flag certification. So on this note, let's move to the next news item. So here we have lead editorial appearing on page number 10, which reads, "A test of law and justice." Well, the article is about the recent 103rd constitutional amendment, which is important for preliminary examination under Indian polity and governance, constitution and various issues associated with it, as well as General Studies Paper 2 mains under polity, Indian constitution and various significant provisions. Well, this 103rd constitutional amendment is regarding 10% reservation which has been provided to the individuals from economically weaker section in public employment as well as both public and private educational institutions. Well, this is the criteria which has to be met in order to avail this 10% reservation for EWS. First of all, it is available to individuals from general category only. That is, anybody who is SC, ST or OBC is not eligible for this 10% of reservation. Now let's have a look at various criterias. First of all, any person whose family has a gross annual income of less than 8 lakh per annum is eligible. Other than this, various criteria are regarding land holdings, where total land holding has to be less than 5 acre. Moreover, the total area covered by the house has to be less than 1000 square feet. In case someone holds a residential plot in any municipality, it has to be less than 100 yards. And for the same plot in any non-notified municipality, the area should be less than 200 yards. We have got one income criteria and all the other criteria are related to land holdings and area covered by the house. Well, various points included in the criteria are quite important from your preliminary exam point of view. Now let's have a look at the present status and what changes have been brought about by this 103rd constitutional amendment, where it is Article 15 as well as Article 16 which has been amended in order to implement this 10% of reservation criteria. So as of now, clause 4 of Article 15 empowers the state to make any provision for advancement of any socially and educationally backward class of citizen or scheduled caste as well as scheduled tribes. Moreover, Article 16 at the same time empowers the state to make reservation of appointment or post in favor of any backward class of citizens. So now here backward class of citizens include individuals from scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. Hence, where on one hand Article 15 guarantees admission into private and public educational institutions, Article 16 guarantees equality of opportunity, that is, providing employment or appointment to any office under the state. Well, it is this 103rd constitutional amendment that a clause 6 has been added to both Article 15 as well as Article 16, and it clearly relates to provisions for the advancement of any economically weaker section of citizens. And Article 16 talks about provision for reservation of appointments or posts in the favor of economically weaker sections of citizens. So now you know Clause 6 of Article 15 as well as Clause 6 of Article 16 deals with economically weaker section reservation in public and private educational institutions as well as public employment. Well, now let's have a look at various grounds on which this 103rd constitutional amendment can be challenged. Well, it was in the 9-judge constitutional bench in Indira Sani judgment where Supreme Court had put a 50% cap on reservation and had struck down reservation for economically backward classes. Well, it was clearly mentioned that backward class cannot be determined solely on the basis of economic criteria. In other words, economic criteria may be a consideration along with social backwardness, as can be seen in the case of OBCs, where there is a concept of creamy layer as well as non-creamy layer. And this is based on economic criteria, where only non-creamy layer among OBCs get benefits of reservations. That is 27% in educational institutions as well as public employment. It was in Indira Sani judgment itself that court struck down reservation of 10% in the favor of economically backward classes. Moreover, in another constitutional bench judgment of M. Nagaraj versus Union of India, it was ruled that equality is part of basic structure of Indian Constitution. Moreover, it was also said that 50% ceiling in reservation, among other things, was a constitutional requirement. Moreover, it was said that without this ceiling of 50%, the structure of equality of opportunity would collapse. Hence, this issue of equality may be raised in court of law on exceeding the limit of reservation provided beyond 50%. And the next point is about representation in public employment. In this regard, government has to show proper, reliable data which shows that economically backward individuals from general category are not adequately represented in public employment. Hence, the main challenge is providing this quantifiable data. Well, other issues raised in this regard are, well, the basis of affirmative action in India is based on historical injustice or social exclusion. And this criteria of historical injustice as well as social exclusion has been the basis of providing reservation to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes as well as other backward classes. And it is believed that by providing this reservation to economic backward classes other than these categories will dilute the idea of this affirmative action in India, which is based on this historical injustice and social exclusion. The practice of untouchability is a very good example in this regards. It is this untouchability which various sections of population suffered over a period of time. Hence, Article 17 has been enacted in this regards, and at the same time, individuals of that particular section have also been provided with reservations or affirmative action. Well, another dimension which has to be seen here is by providing this 10% reservation to economically weaker section, now the reservation has gone up to 60% and the seats or vacancies in the open category are reduced to 40%. Well, this open category of 40% is open to individuals from all categories, which also include SCs, STs as well as OBCs. Hence, this idea of reservation to economically weaker sections will also reduce opportunities for presently reserved sections of population. Well, now it is for the Honorable Supreme Court of India to evaluate various dimensions, and we have to wait for the final order of the Supreme Court in this regards. And at that time, this topic would be taken up again. On this note, let's move to the next news item. So here we have an article which appears on page number 11 and reads, Creating a Fair Digital Payment Market. Well, this article relates to economic and social development under preliminary examination, and under general studies paper 3 of mains examination, it is important under Indian economy, growth and development, challenges to internal security through communication networks, as well as science and technology in everyday life. Well, the article discusses about a need to encourage level playing field in the world of digital payments, which would encourage local firms to compete against corporate giants like Facebook, which has started WhatsApp Pay. Well, in this regard, the government has asked WhatsApp to localize all its data processing related to payment transactions in India. Well, this is also known as data localization. Moreover, it is Indian government's platform of Unified Payment Interface, also known as UPI, which they would be using for interbank transactions. Well, in this regard of data localization, RBI also came up with a circular. It was mainly related to considerable growth of payment ecosystem in the country and the need for the safety and security measures which it needed on continuous basis. Hence, RBI under Payment and Settlement System Act of 2007 issued a circular which mainly focused on entire data related to payment system being stored in the system located in India, as well as a provision for the submission of system audit report. It has to be approved by the board of particular system provider and submitted to RBI. Well, it is this. Other than this, India's technology vision for digital economy also talks about data localization. Well, let's now have a look at the need for regulating this WhatsApp Pay. The first issue is related to data privacy. Facebook has recently been accused of using private data to serve its business as well as political ends in USA. Moreover, it also came under scrutiny for harmful content, lack of privacy, and data misuse. Secondly, Facebook through WhatsApp Pay has made India its destination because of its relative inexperience in digital payment. As in USA, it is not easy for it to penetrate the market, which has been dominated by players like PayPal. Thirdly, the digital payment market in India offers huge potential because India has about 800 million mobile users, out of which 430 million have internet access. Hence, this market has the potential to grow up to $1 trillion by year 2025, which shows its huge potential. Lastly, considering India's internet penetration, as we have already talked about that 430 million mobiles have internet access, the decision to allow WhatsApp Pay in India can make WhatsApp a big player in digital payments across the world, like Alibaba's Alipay in China and Tencent's WeChat. Hence, all these factors are worth considering while regulating this WhatsApp Pay. Well, the article also talks about how the local firms in India can share a space in the digital payment ecosystem along with the corporate giants like WhatsApp Pay, Google Pay, as well as Amazon Pay. It is with the right kind of policy incentives, local firms can capture large shares of digital payment market to become e-commerce player on global scale. One thing has to be kept in mind, it is by exploiting the local market, China's Alibaba's Alipay became a big player in this field across the world. In the similar way, the domestic market in India can be captured by our local firms. But the only thing required here is right policy incentives by the government. They have to be strategically enabled in order to use local market of India and emerge as global champions. The other important dimension associated with the privacy here is that even if the WhatsApp agreed to localize its data in India, the localization in the data according to the requirement by the government is limited to payments data only. However, the Facebook has access to other metadata. Well, what is metadata? It is a data which give idea about the other data. For example, Facebook has access to the data from Instagram, Facebook Messenger as well as WhatsApp. Now this data can be matched with other related data in order to match user profiles and access data relating to social, financial as well as personal life. Hence, even without having data related to payments, Facebook can still access a lot of other data and process it in order to get required outcomes. Such kind of data pooling by Facebook is a big threat to national security as well as privacy of citizens. Hence, proper regulations have to be put in place so that this important data, which can be a threat to our national security as well as can compromise the privacy of our citizens, is not misused as has already been alleged by many in regards to Facebook. On this note, let's move to the next news item. So here we have a news item appearing on page number 10, which reads, a hand-to-mouth budget? Well, the article provides an insight into the budget which was recently presented by the Finance Minister in Parliament. This relates to General Studies Paper 3 of Mains Examination under the topic of Indian economy, issues related to planning, mobilization of resources, growth and development. Well, the article highlights various aspects related to the tax revenue given in the budget. First of all, it points out towards the performance on account of gross tax revenue to GDP ratio. There is an indication of the slip from 11.9% in 2018-19 to 11.7% in the coming year. Moreover, the direct tax to GDP ratio is expected to go down from 6.4 to 6.3%. On the other hand, indirect tax to GDP ratio will reduce from 5.5 to 5.3%. Secondly, the central government's tax revenue from the financial year of 2018-19 fell short of interim budget estimates in February by 0.9% of GDP, which is approximately 1%. The direct tax collection fell short by 74,774 crores, whereas indirect tax collections were short by 93,198 crores. Well, now let's have a look at steps to improve the revenue situation in the country. Well, the expenditure estimates show that the money raised by the government from assets through divestment and extracting from PSC through dividends is not going towards public investment, rather it is going towards revenue expenditure. Under revenue expenditure, the salaries, pensions, subsidies and interest payments are included. Moreover, the revenue expenditure represents the cost of running government. Hence, it does not lead to the creation of any assets or infrastructure which can give us long-lasting returns. Moreover, the point of concern is government's interest payments from past borrowings are largest component of this revenue expenditure, which are also going to grow from 11% to 12.4% in this financial year. The capital expenditure, on the other hand, is projected to grow at a much slower rate as compared to this revenue expenditure. Well, this dimension is significant since the government has termed this budget as pro-investment budget. However, this increased revenue expenditure shows that a big chunk of government's expenditure is not going towards investment in the form of asset creation or infrastructure, and at the same time, the revenue expenditure is growing at a much faster rate. Well, in order to get a clear insight on various dimensions associated with this year's union budget, you can refer to this exclusive video which has been released by us. On this note, let's move to the prelims practice questions. We'll have on screen various prelims practice questions. We'll discuss the answers after a gap of 5 seconds. Well, the first question reads, which of the following is or are correct about blue flag certification? The first statement is, it is given by UNICEF. This is incorrect as it is given by FEE, that is Foundation for Environmental Education. The second statement reads, it was created recently to promote sustainable development, which is again incorrect as it was created in year 1985. His answer would be D, that is neither 1 nor 2. The next question reads, which of the following provides the blue flag certification? The right answer here is FEE, that is Foundation for Environmental Education, which is C. The next question reads, consider the following statements regarding Society of Integrated Coastal Management, that is SICOM. The first statement is, it has been established under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate, which is correct. The next statement reads, it focuses on coastal management, which is again correct as we have already discussed in our discussion. Hence the answer would be C, both 1 and 2. The next question reads, nosocomial infections are, well, the first option is caused by snake bite, which is incorrect. The next one is, it is caused by vaccines, again incorrect. Related to antivenoms, incorrect. The fourth option is, they are hospital acquired, which is correct. Hence, D is the right answer. Kindly note, today we have released a comprehensive video related to the economic survey. The link to the video has been provided in the description, which you can check out for a brilliant analysis of economic survey. This brings us to the end of today's discussion. Let's move to the question of the day.